superstar reader is DJ Charlotte.
Hi, welcome to the Superstar Reader series. I'm DJ Charlotte and I'll be reading a special story for you guys from the Crick Crack collection of West Indian stories by Grace Holworth. I'm going to be reading the story entitled The Magic Pot, based off of the character Anansi. So if you don't know, Anansi is a character, sometimes human, sometimes a spider, based off of West African culture. So this is the story. Ready? The Magic Pot. Anansi was troubled. Month after month, the drought was like a monster, sucking the life out of every growing thing. Soon there would be nothing left on his farm but a few stalks of corn. One morning, Anansi took a walk along a path through the forest that led to the river. There he saw a most beautiful pot with strange symbols carved on the outside. Inside, it was as smooth as the stones on the riverbed. In all my born days, I have never seen such a magnificent pot, exclaimed Anansi. I wonder what these symbols mean. Fill the pot, said the pot. Fill the pot, repeated Anansi in astonishment. And before he could say more, the pot was filled with delicious stew chicken. Anansi sat at once and devoured the food. Ye gods and little fishes, that was a meal fit for a king. How often do you perform? He inquired. As often as you like, replied the pot. Just say the words, fill the pot, and you shall have whatever you wish for. But on no account must you wash me, or my magic powers will cease. Agreed, said Anansi at once. He had no intention of washing the pot, for he was lazy. Besides, it would be easier to keep the pot a secret. He hid it underneath some bushes a little away from his house. The very next day, Anansi took the path through the forest, but as soon as he was out of sight of his house, he crept into the bushes and took the pot out. Fill the pot, he commanded, as he wished for roasted pork and red beans. Immediately, the pot was filled to overflowing with a savory meal. Anansi ate every morsel, including the pork rind. All that night he could not sleep for thinking of the mouth-watering food he would get from the pot. On the following day, he returned to the bushes and again said the words, fill the pot. This time, the pot bubbled with creamy hot sandwich, yellow split peas, chunks of salted meat, and a medley of vegetables floated in the thick soup. In a trice, Anansi emptied the pot and licked it clean as well. Meanwhile at home, Anansi's wife and children had to be satisfied with a daily diet of such vegetables as they found in the forest. And by the time that was shared amongst them, each one received barely a spoonful. Yet every night, Anansi returned home and ate his share of this meager fare to avoid suspicion. One day, Taco, the eldest boy, said to his mother, I think Papa is up to his tricks. See how he gets fatter every day? Yet he eats the same as we do. Child, hush your mouth, scolded his mother. But after that, she began to watch her husband carefully. She marked the path he took, and one morning she followed him stealthily and saw him eating from the pot. Oh ho, she said to herself, so that's his little game. Well, they say every day for thief, but I say one day for watchman. When Anansi arrived home that night, his wife put his share of food before him, and not a word did she say about the pot. But next morning, while Anansi was still asleep, she crept out of the house and went to the place where the pot was hidden. She examined it very closely. She looked inside the pot and turned it upside down. As far as she could see, it was a pot with strange signs on the outside and very dirty on the inside. So she took it down to the river and washed it thoroughly. Now, I'll take this to the market, she said. Perhaps someone there will know what the signs mean. In any case, such a beautiful pot is sure to fetch enough money to buy some food. Anansi was not surprised when he awoke and found that his wife had gone out. He knew that she sometimes left home early to look for root vegetables to cook. Potatoes, cassava, yam, carrots, beetroot, and the like. Besides, he was thinking of what he should order from the pot that day. Quickly, he dressed himself and went to the hiding place, but he could not find the pot. He looked here, he looked there, he dug holes and tore up bushes. He could find the pot nowhere. Anansi thought to himself, maybe it went back to the river. After all, it is a magic pot, and if it can talk, what's to prevent it from walking? He rushed down to the river. There was no pot. Finally, Anansi gave up his search and returned home. There he found his wife with a basket of seeds for planting and a cage full of poultry. He was greatly surprised. "Wife," he said, "Anansi, how did you come by all this?" "Ah, Anansi," replied his wife, "it is a long story and a strange one. You know how I believe in my dreams. Well, last night I dreamt I saw a pot filled with food hidden not far from this house. So I got up early this morning and went to look for it, and I did find it." "The pot? Wife, the pot! What did you do with the pot?" asked Anansi impatiently. "Well, it was so dirty that I took it down to the river and gave it a good wash before taking it to the market. And just look, Anansi, I got all this in exchange for the pot." Anansi was so angry, he did not speak nor eat for many days. And little by little, his limbs became thin and shriveled, but his stomach remained fat and round with all the food he had eaten. And so he is to this day. So crick crack, Anansi break his back for a rotten pamarak. The end. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It's a local one, which is why I chose it, because I feel like as Caribbean people, we need to be proud of our culture. And that's the message I want to leave with you kids. Always be proud of where you're from. And most importantly, be proud of who you are.